This buffalo stands alone against a dozen lions. The predators skillfully surround the hoofed animal, closing in. And finally, one lioness launches a decisive attack, grabbing the bull's back and hind legs. But the lions lack experience. They're still young. The bull takes advantage of this, fiercely spinning and not letting the other cats get close. One lioness can't endure and releases her grip. The bull is too formidable for her. In the end, the bull, on its own, managed to withstand an entire pack of predators. And today, we will show you other cool cases where hoofed animals demonstrated their strength to enemies. A massive lion attacked a buffalo. The hoofed creature is about twice as massive as the predator. It's armed with horns and sharp hooves. But the lion is confident. Tactics, combat experience, and the power of the attacking predator are on its side. The opponent's maneuver. The lion tries to pounce on the buffalo, but it resists, then retreats. The predator should have left the herbivore alone, but the lion interprets the reluctance to continue the fight as weaknesses and lunges forward again. The bull repeatedly repels the enemy's attacks. Even when the lion finally jumps on its back, the bull manages to withstand. It rotates and throws the lion to the ground. But that's not all. The bull makes a sharp and powerful head movement, delivering a horn strike directly to the lion's jaw. Does it still have teeth after that? The lion panics and flees. Just a moment ago, it boldly pressed on the prey, and now it's running away from it. Here, the buffalo hit the lion in the face with its horns just seconds before the predator could damage the herbivore's cervical spine and bite the nape. The rivals fought, putting all their strength into each strike and grip. The bull was on the verge, but it seized the moment and threw the lion off with one strike. The buffalo's power was such that the predator completely detached from the ground and fell. It survived, but now the lion has only one option: to flee. Hyenas engaged in a battle with a huge buffalo right in the middle of the road. Car drivers are shocked. They were passing through a reserve but didn't expect such a close encounter with the world of wildlife. Initially, the huge buffalo easily drove away several pursuing hyenas. However, the entire pack came to their aid. 8 dangerous and large predators are against one massive buffalo. Hyenas had a dangerous advantage here, but they underestimated their opponent. The buffalo refuses to become just a meal for these arrogant carnivores. It gives them an impressive resistance and maneuvers skillfully. One hyena manages to grab the only vulnerable part of the buffalo's body, its tail. The strength of this predator's bite is often underestimated, but in doing so, people forget that hyenas are the most famous American scavengers. To extract useful elements from such food, they have developed truly powerful crushing jaws that break bones to access bone marrow. The bite of an adult hyena tears off the buffalo's tail at the very base. It's a more dangerous injury than it might seem at first, as it affects the spine and causes immense pain. Do you think the buffalo slowed down or weakened its resistance after this cunning strike? Of course not. It fought back, tossing the hyenas, spinning and escaping from every trap, luring the predators and counterattacking, ready to send the hyena flying or stomp it into the ground. Hyenas leaped directly onto the wound several times, hoping the pain would stun and weaken such a dangerous opponent. But the buffalo proved to be much more agile. It spun furiously, using its horns to disrupt the hyenas from securely gripping the wound. A numerous pack of hyenas attacked a wildebeest here. This is a quite large hoofed animal, but alone, it had no chance against predators with such numerical superiority. Other wildebeests would defend their comrade, as bravery isn't generically characteristic of the species. So the wildebeest made an unexpected move and ran to the African buffaloes. Against their backdrop, it looks so small, doesn't it? Indeed, the buffaloes are approximately 3 times larger. Moreover, they are known for their courage and aggressively drive hyenas away from their family. With such guardians, the wildebeest felt safe. But this was a mistake. The enraged bulls were against being used as a living shield. When they realized that the hyenas weren't backing off, it became evident that the hungry predators could attack one of them as easily as the antelope. Of course, buffaloes immediately expressed their displeasure with the uninvited guest. The wildebeest didn't know what it was getting itself into. Provoking the buffaloes and trying to save itself at their expense wasn't wise. Although the bulls drove away the hyenas, the hoofed animals then started to settle matters with the wildebeest. Initially, they just wanted to chase it away, but the more agile hoofed creature didn't retreat, fearing the nearby patrolling predators. Well, the wildebeest should have feared the bulls more. If hints aren't understood, these giants will explain and convey their point of view in more straightforward ways. The bull charges at the wildebeest and knocks it down. It spectacularly lifts the opponent into the air, throws it away like trash, and almost tramples it. The wildebeest simply collapsed on the ground in front of the hyenas. The predators understood the message. The bulls showed that the wildebeest wasn't one of them. After such an impressive flight, the wildebeest was both injured and battered. Now, escaping the pursuit would be even more challenging. If the wildebeest had run away from the hyenas as soon as the bulls drove them off, it might have survived. But the abuse of resistance turned out to be a fatal mistake for the bold herbivore. The wildebeest got up, but it was clearly a bit dazed. The bulls calmly left, leaving it to the hyenas for consumption. The predators surrounded the wildebeest and took advantage of the gift of the enormous horns. What's your take on such a move? Perhaps you think the huge herbivores should have protected the wildebeest from external enemies, risking their family members in a battle with unpredictable and cruel predators armed with powerful jaws. Or should they have immediately driven the wildebeest away, and not even attempted to help it by accepting it into their group? Maybe the bulls acted correctly, and the mistake was made by the wildebeest itself. Share your thoughts in the comments. We would love to know your opinion. Of course, the wildebeest also tried to resist the hyenas. It maneuvered, circled, and attempted to horn. The hyenas didn't immediately overpower such a tough opponent. They tried to avoid unnecessary injuries, so they were cautious, herding the wildebeest into a trap. The bulls watched the situation indifferently. The wildebeest missed its chance, and no one would ever support it again. Although it held on for some time, against such a numerical advantage of carnivores, this hoofed animal couldn't withstand. The circle tightened, and the wildebeest was overcome. In Africa, one of the few surviving white lions in the wild resides. Researchers named him Casper. He's not an albino, just a beautiful white lion. Well, beautiful for us, right? However, from a survival standpoint, his chances aren't that great. White lion cubs are occasionally born but rarely survive to adulthood. Unusual coloration hinders their ability to camouflage and hide from enemies, and then interferes with hunting. For a white lion to survive, grow into adulthood, and eventually establish itself in a pride, it must be especially strong. Like Casper. Only when a whole herd of buffaloes approached him and his lioness, he clearly overestimated himself. If Casper had run away immediately, he wouldn't have found himself in this difficult situation. There was a tree with a low, almost horizontally growing trunk behind him. Only that saved the white lion. The bulls were stepping on him like a living wave. They never knew about their advantage and slowly approached the old adversary. In the end, the bulls cornered Casper against the tree. There are many such cases. Here, the herd also trapped the lion. Note that in both cases, the predator was saved only by the shape of the tree. A heavy lion wouldn't be able to balance on a regular vertical trunk for long. Here, he's almost lying down, but very low. The bull's horns barely miss the opponent. In both episodes, the lion struggles to balance on the trunk. The bulls constantly threaten him and provoke mistakes with sharp movements. If Casper, or an ordinary lion in the second case, makes a sudden move, they will crash right under the buffalo's feet, which will trample or lift the dangerous opponent with its horns. Seeing an intimidated lion is unusual, isn't it? But dealing with the bulls was a mistake, and now, the poor predator is paying for it. Pelicans are still robbers. Usually, they really feed on fish, which they elegantly catch on the fly in their huge beaks, scooping up water. And in this way, a pelican can even catch a shark. But also, the bird will be happy to have a snack, for example, a gaping pigeon. Apparently, close communication with the Maine coastal gangsters, that is, seagulls, has done its job. Pelicans got bad and started robbing, but this bird was clearly mistaken in the choice of prey. Do you know what this capybara had to do to escape from the feathered aggressor? Absolutely nothing. The pelican approached its imaginary victim several times, but could not do any damage to it. It couldn't even lift it. By the way, if you want to learn more about these charismatic animals with nerves of steel, then write about it in the comments. It seems that the rodent looks at the pelican as if it were garbage. The bird's attacks were nothing more than a light massage for this well-fed and cute animal. Now the pelican will be tormented by complexes. His opinion of himself as a formidable predator was simply trampled. Any boxer will confirm that timing is very important in a fight. That is, choosing the right moment to strike. While this turtle is doing great with timing. When a horse shows unhealthy curiosity, the reptile goes on the defensive, and then at the only appropriate moment strikes. That is, a bite with a sharp beak. Neither a large dog running to the noise, nor the continuation of the horse's attack produces any effect on the turtle. But when she counterattacks, her lightning strike causes panic in the animals dozens of times larger. Just look at the panic this reptile has brought its rivals to. It seems that we have finally found a fighter for whom the difference in size is not an obstacle to worry. I wonder if this turtle could bring an elephant to a heart attack? What do you think? Answer in the comments. Never approach a horse from behind. This can threaten the most unpleasant consequences. Don't you believe it? Then learn from the mistakes of others. The lioness decided to ignore this lesson and received a double blow with her hooves right in the jaw. Instead of lunch, her hunt ended with a knockout. How dramatically she fell. The powerful blow of the zebra just turned off the predatory cat. To be in the jaws of a crocodile for most animals is a terrible end. For this turtle, here she resembles a girl on a bad date. She's just waiting for it to be over, and he'll get the hell out of there, and she can enjoy the dinner she ordered. The crocodile clearly did not impress her. He is not capable of swallowing such a large turtle whole, and although the compression force of his jaws is huge, and the shell easily withstands all his onslaught. It seems that the turtle leaves even with a kind of contempt. What, Jack, is that all you're capable of? I expected more. The crocodile is also in shock. His jaws didn't let him down before, but what was it Stark said? Sometimes it happens. Once out of 5, right? In general, it is better not to mess with turtles. They are often underestimated by other animals. But it seems that the myth of their slowness is nothing more than a competent strategic move. They simply lulled the vigilance of potential victims. Like this pigeon, which did not expect a lightning-fast reptile throw. As a result, the turtle caught a bird for lunch. In general, it turns out that the turtle is one of the toughest fighters in the world of wildlife, who are regularly underestimated. This duck was swimming with the chickens when a carnivorous turtle decided to attack one of them. An adult bird immediately stood up for the baby, and this is quite natural. But she made a mistake when she ran into a turtle in a frontal attack. Although the reptile is much smaller, its beak turns out to be so strong that the turtle immediately grabs the opponent and shakes it like a rag. The baby was able to escape because the turtle switched to his mom. Drowning a duck is a very difficult idea to implement, but the turtle turned out to be a stubborn and cruel one. She shook the bird and did not let it go for so long that the duck ran out of strength. And she could not oppose anything to such a protected opponent. The bird probably survived and was able to reunite with his family. But she will remember this fight forever. Turtles are avid fans of fighting. This reptile is not trying to eat the dog. There is too much difference in size. A turtle doesn't hunt a huge snake. She just sees someone who annoys her and rushes into battle. It seems that these reptiles can sometimes forget even about hunger and throw food in order only to teach the enemy a lesson. They say that a samurai has no goal, only a path. Oddly enough, this is just about a turtle. If you think that her shell is needed in order to calmly wait out the danger, sit out, and then go about your business, then you are mistaken. Apparently, the turtle feels his impunity thanks to the armor. Therefore, he goes to attack cows. But for a turtle, these ungulates are like Godzilla for you. And nothing, the reptile does not show a drop of fear. Or maybe she's just an evil creature. But in any case, her fighting fuse is respected. Although the turtle doesn't have long fangs, its beak is as powerful as a war hammer. Even the lion is shocked by the impudence of the turtle, which was the first to attack him. It seems fantastic, but the turtle, furious with its pressure, drove away a huge lion from the water, which is 200 times heavier. Hopefully, after what you've seen, you won't accuse the Beast King of cowardice. Perhaps some of his battle scars are not the claws of other lions, but the teeth of such small monsters. There was no need to underestimate this Wu Gui. Do you remember what happened to Tai Lung? It seems that the creators of that cartoon understand zoology much better than it seems at first glance. By the way, about Kung Fu. Which style is cooler, tiger or crane? If you are on the side of striped cats, then we have a surprise for you. The feathered creature turned out to be a really cool fighter. Clearly, Chinese masters were inspired by such episodes when they created their martial art. At first, the bird tried to retreat because it wanted peace and harmony. But if the opponent does not share these values, he can be punched in the face. Iron logic, which allowed the crane to survive and even feel quite comfortable in the same enclosure with two adult tigers. Flapping blows with huge wings cannot cause serious damage to predators that weigh 1/4 ton each. But they distract so that the crane can deliver a powerful blow with its beak directly to the head, like a sword. Makakes only seem like cute, harmless beggars. These primates will fight fiercer for their food than wolves. Here is a fairly large dog decided that he could take away a tasty morsel with a small macaque. He underestimated her greed and the team spirit of the pack. Among themselves, these animals will fight for every piece, but if an external threat appears, they will attack it all together. So the dog had to fight off several macaques at the same time. The dog is well done. He was able to escape from the encirclement of enemies whole and alive. This is already an achievement, but he will not underestimate the enemy so much anymore.